I mean, Ventura was told by Tru TV he'd be allowed to do whatever he wanted. By the first season, it already started. Second season, they were censoring shows. Third season, they totally took it and butchered it one side and down the other.
And it's clear that they're doing everything they can to make the show a failure so that they don't have to renew it.
We have discovered that the show Conspiracy Theory, for those that don't know, just to give you some background, going back 2.5 years ago, first aired on, Wednesdays, got highest ratings ever for a new show, was the #2 show on Tru TV, huge hit, and then they moved the next series to Friday night, The Dead Zone. Still got great ratings. Then they wouldn't re-air the FEMA special and got all sorts of Homeland Security threats. That's been national news. Erased it off people's TiVos, unprecedented, off their DVRs. Then they shot last year, because I was part of some of the episodes, shot it, held it for 11 months, re-edited it, took it away, re-edited it. Point is that they took the show away, but still very powerful. One guy they interviewed about directed energy weapons dies a day and a half after Ventura talks to him. I mean, incredible stuff. Now they're not airing the TSA 8th episode. Now that's been axed. Now they move it from 9 to 10, then they move it to Monday night, and now they won't say where it's going to air. So it's kind of a treasure hunt here. Wow, what is going on with the TV show?
Well, Alex, I can't say it any better than what you just said right there. I don't know. We had a Wednesday slot at 9 Central, 10 Eastern, and then after 1 week they moved it to 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern, and this Monday I happened to be watching Monday Night Football, and I kind of hit the guide thing, and I saw Tru TV 10 p.m. Conspiracy Theory, and I assumed that they were showing reruns, because I know on Thanksgiving morning they showed some reruns of Conspiracy Theory when I was getting ready to go to my in-laws for Thanksgiving dinner. I had it on and watched a couple shows from a couple years ago, and The Manchurian Candidate was one of the shows that we did a couple years ago. And so Monday, I'm channel surfing during Monday Night Football, and I see Conspiracy Theory, Tru TV. I assumed it was reruns. Well, it was not. It was the Ozark episode, the one where we discover this underground city down in the Ozarks, and that this town is being infiltrated with massive amount of banks. They now have one bank for every, I think, 52 people that live in the town. I mean, it's just bizarre.
It's usually one for every...
One bank in the whole town.
Yeah.
It aired Monday night, and now tonight I see they got Pawn Shop on or whatever it is all night long. So I have no idea when the show is going to air from week to week, and it's clear that they're doing everything they can to make the show a failure so that they don't have to renew it.
Undoubtedly, that is what is going on. They're scared of it. It's having an effect. They waited till the day after the election to air the first episode of the new season. It got really good ratings, so they move it. It gets good ratings again. You can go look them up online, so they move it again. I mean, this is incredible, Governor.
I've never seen anything like it in the entertainment industry. You know, I've never seen... Oh, yeah, no, I will say, one time I saw something like it. When they hired me at MSNBC, and at the time, Phil Donahue was on with his short-lived show. He had the highest ratings on MSNBC, and they dropped him, and they wouldn't put me on the air because both of us were opposed to the Iraq War. And so they didn't want anyone out there with any opposition to the Iraq War.
Back to the TV show. I understand they spend millions of dollars making these, so they want to air them. But then if they don't air them, it also becomes another issue that they're censoring. I know the head of Tru TV promised you 3 years ago that you wouldn't be censored, and I thought it was unprecedented. We had a private bet against the other producers, you and I and others, that it wouldn't air. I agreed with you that it would never air. It was so hardcore. But then the second season, they did censor some shows. Now they've nixed the TSA show about cancer, and now they're just hiding the show. I mean, are you going to talk to them or try to find out what's going on, or will they not talk to you?
No, I have nothing more. You know, they still haven't even paid me yet. They still owe me a paycheck.
Wow.
And I mean, this has been over a year since we completed the shows, and I'm battling with them now to give me my, because that my contract states that I get my last check check upon completion of all editing and when the show is ready to go on the air. Well, excuse me, Alex, 3 shows have aired. And I still haven't seen my last paycheck yet.
So I think it's clear to say you're not too happy with Time Warner.
Well, I don't know, if it's the parent company or Tru TV or who's doing it. I mean, I'm sure I'll get paid. I got great lawyers, and it's a pretty ironclad contract, but I just find it very disrespectful that everybody else on the show has been paid off, but the star of the show remains.
That's what I've
still remaining to get.
That's what I've noticed. It's weird that just in general life, as you get more famous, people treat you, in many cases, worse, like they think you deserve to be treated bad or something. It's bizarre. And then all these losers wonder why they're not successful because they don't even know how to treat people with respect.
Yeah, well, I find this very disrespectful that everyone on the show has been paid. My son's been paid. Sean Stone's been paid. Everybody, and they've been paid months ago. And yet I sit here now, and the 3rd show is already aired. Next week will be the 4th show, and I still won't have gotten my last check.
Amazing. It's obviously re-airing. Now, that's the real proof in the pudding if they're not re-airing it. Guys, check the Tru TV schedule to see when the Ozarks Conspiracy is re-airing. Just go to the Conspiracy Theory site. Just type in Conspiracy Theory, and it comes up. And we'll find out when that's airing. We'll talk about it in the next segment. But talk about the Ozarks Conspiracy, because that was one of the shows I was most excited about. They're building giant underground bunkers, 50,000 square foot.
This guy that's got the surveillance, the satellite surveillance, is building this house. It's supposedly a single-family dwelling, so he didn't have to pull any permits or anything. I mean, if you added a bathroom to your house, you'd have to go get permits from the city. If you built an addition onto your house.
And tell them how big it is.
This guy built a house, I think it's 72 or 74,000 square feet. And they're calling it a single-family dwelling.
And it's got giant, thick, armored concrete walls. Look, and the guy's formerly with the NSA. That's why they don't want that show being seen.
I said, and this thing's built on top of a hill, and there's tremendous amount of caves down there in the Ozarks. In the show, we actually infiltrate and drive for literally city blocks under the ground. And, I mean, they had tennis courts, they had everything there. And then they did editing where the final edit, they didn't show the tennis courts. I found that interesting, that they really cut away from showing a great deal of what we saw underground to this underground city. They kind of slid over the top on it with their final editing. They showed us more in the car driving around in the underground city than they actually showed of the city itself.
No, I can see that because I saw the footage of you, firing the machine guns in the David Icke episode. And, I mean, this is the most awesome footage ever. And, I mean, I just know how TV works, and I can see what's going on. And I'm not pleased by what Time Warner's up to. I mean, obviously there's some shenanigans going on.
Well, look at it this way. We still managed to get them on.
No, that's a big deal.
Yeah, no matter how they edit them and how they're trying to destroy the ratings and putting them on all different nights so nobody knows when they're actually going to air. It's still remarkable that they got on, and I'm proud that I won that Stony Award, the Lifetime Achievement Award. They gave it to me. They said Conspiracy Theory, just managing to get this on the air, deserves a Lifetime Achievement Award.
That's right. That's right. In fact, congratulations, Governor Ventura. I feel good just being involved in it. And the whole crew, the production crew, were awesome folks. Everybody involved there. A lot of work went into this, and I was talking to the Gov during the break, and I said, hey, do you want to give the number out or the email? Well, I mean, in your own words, do you think people should contact Tru TV and try to make sure that they don't deep six this season?
Well, if people are outraged like I am that they haven't given us one specific time that you can look forward to every week, I mean, how do they expect a TV show to be successful when it's on Wednesday at 2 different times, and then they switch it over to Monday and there's no advertising, they don't tell anybody? So it's clear. And if people want to call them, I'd love it. I'd love for people to call up Tru TV and Time Warner and express their dissatisfaction with how they're trying to deep six Conspiracy Theory, and that obviously they don't want the show to be successful.
Well said, and there's a toll number and a toll-free number. We'll give them both out. It's 212-484-8000, 212-484-8000. They erase the shows off DVRs. They don't air shows. Ask them, where's the TSA special about the cancer? Chertoff gets interviewed and gets destroyed. Just like that congressman got exposed about the FEMA camps, trying to say they didn't exist. Then he was shown the bill that he co-supported. And then I do remember that bill. I mean, Jesse, you absolutely annihilated that guy. And Ron Paul, in his farewell address 2 weeks ago, said, we have more and more a state-run media. And what's happened to you, Governor, is proving it.
Oh, yeah, I agree completely that our media today, for the most part, is corporate-run by the corporate powers and the power entities of the world. And unfortunately, that's where probably 90% of Americans get their facts from today. And until they break free from corporate media and start looking in other places to learn the truth, I'm afraid we're going to head down a bad road here.
I agree with you. Let me give that number out again. It's 212-484-8000. And here's the toll-free number. We'll put that up on screen for TV viewers. Radio listeners, it's 800-268-7856, 800-268-7856. And look, if you are a cable subscriber or a Dish Network or DirecTV, call up and say, hey, you know what? This is one of my favorite shows. It's got top ratings. We want to see the TSA show. And we want to see the FEMA camp show re-air from last year. And we want to see these not hidden and moved around like it's an Easter egg hunt. Why are you doing this? The Atlantic Monthly reporter wants to know, and I know you said I can handle it, but I want to get your take on this. He says, conspiracy theory with Jesse Ventura, what happened with the FEMA show, the police state show, and the TSA show? And the question is, is there a suppression of conspiracy theory? What's your quote for Atlantic Monthly magazine?
That the FEMA show was taken off after airing only one time, and I guess now they don't even acknowledge we did it. You can't get it unless you go to YouTube for that first one time it was on. And the TSA show, again, we've completed the show. And they chose not to air it. So somebody on their end has made that decision. Who made that decision, I do not know. I can only say the Tru TV, the network, did. Who influenced the network not to do that show or not to air it, I do not know that. But all I can tell you is absolutely we've been censored. Absolutely shows have not been shown, and shows have been taken off after they've been shown only one time.
Let's just get back to what we were saying. How many more episodes of the show are going to air?
I don't know. We did 8 of them. They're going to air 7. What are they on now? 4 or 5?
Yes. So I guess about.
So there'll be 7 of them will air, even though we did 8. We did the TSA one, but that's not going to see the light of day. And that's the one you can talk about to Atlantic Magazine, because we completed it, we finished it, and it's their call that the public will not see it.
Absolutely. Well, maybe if we put pressure on it, then they will air it.
I doubt it, but you can try.
Well, and they're changing the days the show airs. I guess it's now Monday's the new day.
Yeah, Mondays, I guess, unless they changed it again. They've changed it. They showed it once on Wednesday, and then they changed the time on Wednesday, and then the third show they showed on Monday. So I guess we're on Monday now, unless they shift us back to Wednesday again. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure what's going on with the show.
Like you said, 3 years of conspiracy theory, and what you did before that as a governor and all the rest of it has shown you the real world out there. What do you want to say to folks in closing who are naive and haven't seen the things you or I have seen?
Well, I just want to tell them again, open up your minds and open up your hearts and understand that government is run by people, and people can be evil. They need to take government off this pedestal that they won't lie to us, they won't deceive us, because yes, they will. They do it all the time, and people need to wake up to that fact. And the sooner that they wake up to that fact, the better off we're all going to be.
Well, we appreciate your courage with the show. I know there's some behind-the-scenes things happen with the FEMA episode, but we're not supposed to get into that. And just thank you, Governor, for all you've done. And we'll talk to you again for another update next Monday, if that's actually when they're airing the next episode. Thank you so much.
Okay, Alex, we'll look forward to it. We'll talk Monday if we're on the air that day. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Thank you.